Hey, GW, back on the scene. Hey, I want to talk about a movie that you guys may have seen, you guys might not have seen. It's called Knock at the Cabin, and it's the latest, I guess you could say, apocalyptic psychological movie from M. Night Shyamalan. Um, Whenever you say that guy's name, M. Night Shyamalan, you get a lot of mixed reactions. You have people that hate him, you have people that think he hasn't done his best picture, or you hear people say he's a joke. Regardless, there's something eerie about Knock at the Cabin. Stars Dave Batista, and it's based off a novel, The Cabin at the End of the World. I have personally never read it, but after watching the movie, I am curious to see what was left out of the book versus the movie. But we'll jump right into story. There's a couple actors I don't know who they are right now. I've watched it just a little bit ago. I'm down in the video room doing a video or doing a movie review on it, and I'm just gonna give you like a general idea. But what it's about a family comprised of two guys and a girl that are spending time in this cabin, and I don't really think they specify where this cabin is at. To be honest, oh yes, it is. They do. They specify it's in Pennsylvania. So yay for Pennsylvania. But basically, what happens is at the very beginning of this movie, this thing does not miss a beat. I'm talking seconds into it. Dave Batista shows up. His character shows up, and his character's name's Leonard. And Leonard and a group, three other guys, sort of invade this cabin and basically tell this family that they have to kill one of their own to stop the apocalypse. And it could have been a cut and dry story. There's a couple of things that I would have left in it. When the deaths happen, they usually happen off screen or you get a glimpse of them. There's no real actual gore, which I know is going to upset a lot of people. But the fact that they are very serious about it and they really are determined in their quest makes them all that much more sinister or believable, if you want to call it. The one thing that is sort of interesting in this film is there's a lot of backstory about these two guys and this girl. And one of the scenes, when asked why they were picked to stop the apocalypse, David Leonard says to them, because you have unconditional love for each other. In typical M. Night Shyamalan fashion, there's a lot of twists. One being at the very ending of the movie, and it's one of those twists that you hear it, and if you leave the room, you're not going to hear it. And without giving anything away, it harkens back to those stories you hear about the four horsemen of the apocalypse. And I know my grandmother, who lived in McKeesport, she had a big, huge picture of them. It was blue, and it was four guys running to the horse with armor and stuff, and it was the four horsemen of the apocalypse. So I grew up, and I've noticed that those characters and that myth and those legends are not really in too many movies. So whenever I heard the reference, I was like, oh, cool. As far as Apocalypse is concerned, I'm not going to ruin the movie if you haven't seen it, but M. Night Shyamalan does a hell of a good job creating the apocalypse. Starts out by catastrophic events that just get more intense as the movie goes on. I actually like this film. I would put it up there right with The Visit. And a lot of people, they skipped over that film for some reason. The Visit, if you like M. Night Shyamalan, or you even watch The Sixth Sense and that's as far as you got, you have a right to watch, or you should watch The Visit, because it's a movie about two kids going to see their grandma, and they never met him before, grandma and grandpa, and there's something sinister going on. And the movie is an absolute blast if you love twist endings. I really liked it, but I don't think I think people sort of are divided about this, because I think that when you watch this film, there is some slow moments, and you really don't know what's going on, and everything is made pretty clear in the very beginning. It's just sort of a long, drawn out process. As far as special effects, we got all kinds of things happening again, which I don't want to ruin. Um, I really, like I said, I enjoyed it. It kept my attention. It's not the fastest moving film on the face of the earth, and it's not something that's going to appeal to everybody. Like I said, gorehounds are going to be disappointed because the deaths happen off screen. Although there is a throat slitting scene that happens in broad daylight, and again, we only see the aftermath. But I think M. Night Shyamalan's message in this was he wanted to make a movie about sacrifice. I think that's what it is, and how we sacrifice things for other things for greater stuff. Like, it's the season of Lent, and millions of you guys are, I used to sacrifice not eating hamburgers. And maybe that's what M. Night Shyamalan was going for, was people have to sacrifice things for the greater good. And it was, like I said, it was not a bad movie. It's 2 hours and some odd minutes, or 1 hour and 45 minutes. It's close to 2 hours. But I think you guys should check it out. And in other news, on Peacock, Megan. I want to talk about Megan. I really enjoyed Megan. I don't know if I did a movie review on that film or not, but they come out with the unrated cut. Supposedly this cut has more gore, there's more F-bombs, there's more splattery, gooey, gory mess. And I really liked Megan. If you haven't seen it, it takes, like, if anybody remembers that show Small Wonder, with the little robot girl about yay big, turns her into a mutant killer and a hell of a protector. And I really dug it. And the sad thing, or the scary part of it is that after you're done watching Megan, you look at the technology that is based off of. And one of the things that you notice is that for a while now, America, technicians, computer people, IT people, we've been working on artificial intelligence. And there was always that thought that they would get smarter than us, like in the Terminator movies, and then they turn around and wage war on us. And when you watch Megan, you kind of get a chill, because you see things going that way, But Megan is a very awesome movie. Even the unrated cut that I saw was very good. It was very intense for a PG-13. And it reminded me when I was little of Gremlins, or Jaws, where there was more gore than you would expect and more intensity, but it never crossed the line. But the unrated cut, we're going to have to check out. I'm definitely going to have to check it out. So that's that. In just a little bit here, maybe later today, I'll drop a can't talk. It's 3:30 in the morning, guys. What do you want? There's a movie called American Gothic, which I'm going to do a movie review on. And before I even get into it, I'd like to thank Matt Campbell for telling me about this. He's my go-to horror guy. If I haven't seen anything, he just tells me what's what. And I ask him, like, hey, dude, you seen this movie? You seen this movie? And he usually hooks me up, What else? Richard Belzer. I'm going to talk about him for a minute. A lot of people know Richard Belzer from, Law and Order and, different programs. I remember Richard Belzer because whenever I lived at home, if you stayed up past Saturday Night Live, they had Showtime at the Apollo was on. And that's whenever I was about, I don't know, 13, 14 maybe. And one of the comedians I saw was Richard Belzer. And when you're a kid, anybody that cusses, you laugh at. Um, he was damn funny. A lot of people do forget too. He was also in the nightclub scene in Scarface. Um, Close personal friend of Ice-T's too. But I just want to say he will be missed. I mean, especially someone that that you heard, and then he took, like I said, a serious role on Law and Order and or CSI, yeah, Law and Order. And he kind of ditched the comedy for a little bit, and he did that drama role. But you need to go back if you guys can find all the old YouTube performances from that show, and maybe dig across Richard Belzer. I think some of that stuff might be lost. He was very, very talented, and it's sad. I mean, we're just losing people left and right. And then my wife told me a couple of days ago, R. Kelly screwed up bad, guys. He really did. He had sex with children, guys, and apparently there was a video floating around on the internet of him with an underage girl, and he's playing it off like, hey man, I can do whatever I want. No, you can't, R. Kelly. Because regular people are gonna think that he's sick. People that have been abused and sexually molested are gonna think, good for you, we got a victory. But my wife pointed something else out to me too. When you listen to some of the R. Kelly lyrics, they're a bit questionable. So I got no love for R. Kelly. I got no love for what he did, and I'm glad he's in jail, man. I really am. But I never cared for the guy. So that's that. So coming up, a review of the 1980s horror classic American Gothic, starring Yvonne De Carlo. Quick show of hands. Anybody know who Yvonne De Carlo is? Lily Munster. So we'll be back with that review. But yeah, definitely check out Knock at the Cabin. Like I said, not the greatest M. Night Shyamalan film, but it's nail-biting and suspenseful, and it really keeps you on your toes. But there are some things wrong with it. As I said, the story does not move that quick. There's a lot of backstory, which then, puts some of these things in perspective. It also is not for gorehounds, like I said, because most of the gore happens off screen. But the intensity of the story is, I think, what holds it together. That and the fear of the unknown. As you go further into this picture and you see some of these disasters, and it's crazy. It's a crazy picture. Like I said, I dug it. The one thing I do wish, and I'm not saying this to knock M. Night Shyamalan or any other filmmaker out there, but I understand why in this day and age you'd want to put two girls and a kid in a movie, or two guys and a kid in a movie, and I get that. I really do. But whenever I'm trying to watch a good horror film, you don't need to throw that in my face. Just like that movie Bros. That movie went nowhere. I called it. I told my wife, I said, that movie ain't going to go nowhere. Because no one wants to see two guys in love having a relationship. Even though we're at the new millennium and everybody's this and everybody's that, there's things that mainstream America just doesn't want to see. And that's not a knock on film or anything. That's just my opinion. And I didn't mind. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't mind watching that. And I understand times are changing. But I don't need it. I don't need to be saturated with it. You know what I'm saying? But that's my 2 cents. But again, I'm not the director, but he was. The movie's pretty good, and like I said, if you like that one, check the follow-up or the movie before it, The Visit. Signs was pretty good. The Sixth Sense obviously ruled at the box office. So, but yeah, not a bad movie, I think. And I want to give a shout out to all my fans, all the people that tell me what's up in the hall, all the people that subscribe. Just want to say thank you because without you guys, there'd be no me.